if there's one or two more quick questions, I promise I'll be fast if you guys are.
Speaking of gateway drugs, what turned you on to Philip K. Dick?
Well, I write about this in here in an essay called Crazy Friend. I mean, wow, I was just talking about the two cool parents. My friend Carl, who I mentioned, the one I drew Super Dick with, his dad brought over a bunch of paperbacks and kind of dropped them in Carl's room when we were, I think I was 13. And one of them was Ubik. And I'd been reading some much older science fiction that was on my mother's shelves, like I, Robot by Isaac Asimov and The Martian Chronicles by Ray Bradbury. And those were really important books for me. But this graduated the whole thing into a whole other zone of danger and vibrancy for me that I was really thrilled by. And so he became my official favorite writer right away at that point. You know, by I was 14, I made the commitment, and by the time I was 16, I think I'd read every book of his that you could lay hands on at that point. Lucky for me. Yeah. And now I've repaid the favor by dragging him into horrible respectability over and over again. When he could have been such a cool cult author forever, but he doesn't get to protest. So. Okay, last one. Or okay.
With that thing you just said, I mean, is there a line between that? You know, the idea that you don't want your favorite band to get noticed, that you have. It's then no longer yourself. The disillusionment.
Yeah, it's an interesting issue for me. I mean, I kind of fooled around with that in an earlier book called The Disappointment Artist about wanting things to be your own and the destructive marriage we make to the things we identify with and how we want to possess them, and then they are inevitably going to betray us in some way. And there are a lot of ways they can. One of them is just by turning out to be
popular,
too user friendly, and yet there's also a marvelous quality that some things have of being cult artifacts. No matter, I mean, I think a 13-year-old kid discovering Ubik right now is still going to have that same intensity, even though it's in the Library of America. Just as, because there's something innate, I should say, about the work that makes it outre, and that's marvelous.
That was kind of what I was going, with the age we're in.
It's like with Devo, when Whip It was the #1 song in the country. Devo, every person who loved Devo they were the only one who really knew how ironic. Okay, thanks everyone very much for coming.